if you threaten someone, like, if you tell someone I'll do this, they could still tell someone. Like, you have no guarantees here that they won't tell someone whatever you're trying to keep quiet. I mean, even this stuff... Dude, look at P. Diddy. Like, P. Diddy kept people quiet for how many years, allegedly, or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's like, now, all of this stuff is coming out. It's like, eventually, people find stuff out. And even, sometimes it's after someone's dead.
Yes.
But a lot of times, it's after someone's power has waned to the point where it's not as dangerous to say something.
Yes,
and that's Bill Cosby.
Right.
As soon as he got older, all of a sudden, you know, it's like, well, this guy's not as powerful in Hollywood. You know, it's like all of a sudden it's not a big threat. Or Harvey Weinstein, you know.
Epstein.
A lot of Steens,
dude. A lot of Steens.
That's not looking good for the Jewish community, because Steen and Stein are Jewish names.
Very Jewish, yes.
So that's not really a great look, all right?
It's not good. But there's a lot of, like, you're right, though. As soon as there is a small little crack
like an
in
opening.
the armor,
yeah,
then people take it.
Some people would say a chink in the armor. That's what
that's
what that one sports commentator said, and he got fired for it.
For Jeremy Lin during Linsanity. I remember that, yeah. Oh, come on. We need this week.
Even though that was a real term. Tell Jill that's a real term. She didn't believe me.
It is. It is. Yeah, it totally is. Yeah.
Are you guys sure it didn't
100%. It literally just meant a crack.
Yes.
Are you guys sure it didn't come from, like, some war where they were fighting Asian people, though, and they had a crack in their armor? And
I think that's an old
it's
term,
a really, really old term. It just meant, like, crack in the armor. That's it. Or, like, a hole. It meant a hole in your defenses.
Yes.
Or a weakness in your defenses.
Yes. Yeah.
So that...
Very old historical term.
Yeah. Like the N-word.
Right. Technically true. You're right. I mean,
well, I can't beat you on that.
You could if you were black.
We're
saying it.
He's right. Again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And that stuff, it's happening a lot now, too. I feel like it's moved on from the Me Too movement. I feel like that's almost like...
Well, the Me Too movement...
It's hard to say. It feels like it's over. Is that fair to say? Is that like...
Well, here's the thing. I think people are more...
for sure.
People are more careful now about what they do.
Definitely.
The problem with the Me Too movement is that it conflated a lot of real things with a lot of fake things. So it's like there was... I'm not going to say for every real story there was a fake one, but there were a lot of people who, during that time, realized, oh, I can make some money off this, or, oh, I can write a book, or, oh, I can get attention on my career again. And unfortunately, that took away, like, false accusations, took away from a lot of the real ones, which is just unfortunate.
Yes.
Where there were real people who should be able to say, like, hey, this happened. Like, if it's been 10 years, 20 years, whatever, but there were a lot of other people who were like, oh, this guy's popular now, and he has no proof against what I'm going to say. And so you kind of have this issue where these people dragged down something that could have been good. Which I would say, I mean, I know this is a little political. It's the same thing with the idea behind Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. You have, like, an idea that's like, hey, this group of people, we feel like they are being unfairly targeted. And it's like, okay, this is a discussion. But then you have a bunch of rioters and douchebags and criminals and embezzlers. I mean, like, those people... I don't want to make a claim here, but there was this whole claim around, like, people buying mansions with money that was supposed to go to relief funds and stuff. And it's like...
I feel like that was almost proven. Wasn't that proven?
I don't even know. Yeah. I just remember it was like a big allegation of like, hey, where'd these mansions come from? It's like,
13 of them.
They're like community meeting places for the movement. And it's like, yeah, but people live in them?
Really?
It's weird, right? So it's like...
And you need to spend that much money? And it needs to be a mansion on the beach?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, well, why didn't you just get like a really nice, like...
normal
morning or meeting area or something.
Right.
An office.
This is definitely fashion over function at this point, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like these movements, right? Like how often does something start as something that either is positive or could be positive, and then it gets dragged down by mob mentality, groupthink, people taking advantage of it, stuff. Me Too is that way as well. And I think that one, unfortunately, it's like it helped people in some ways. Like some women it helped. But a lot of things it also screwed up. Like, there are so many men, this is something I was talking about the other day on Twitter, there are so many men scared to date now, scared to approach women, especially because, like, every time a man approaches a woman, I see, like, a viral tweet or Reddit post where it's like, this guy harassed me, or this guy asked me out, and we were just at a movie, or we were at a community event. Wrong place, wrong time. And it's like, well, what's the right place? Just hooking up on Tinder? This is why birth rates are down.
Right.
This is why women get to 40 or 50 and then they bitch about not finding a good man. This is why men prefer sex over companionship now, and then they're lonely and don't realize why. Because, like, it's not worth the risk. I think I told you this story once. This is super brief. I'm sure I've told it on this channel several times. I had a friend in college who the police proved that a woman, like, she said, this guy rapped on me. He hit me with an epic rap battle. He assaulted me. And she got her girlfriend, her lesbian girlfriend, to back her up because they both hated him, because she cheated on him with her. So that other girl hated him because she tried to get back with him. So, like, both of them hated him because, you know, the girlfriend, he said, no, you cheated on me. And the other girlfriend of the girlfriend was like, well, I don't want to lose my new girlfriend. So they both alleged and made up this story that he did this to her. And the police proved it was false. He got kicked out of the college program that he was in. I don't even want to say which program, but it was a program involving service. So, like, you know, that, like, professing, teaching, passing on knowledge, librarian, like that area.
Sure.
It was in that area where they're very cautious about things. You know, if you're a teacher or you're a librarian or you're a professor or whatever and an allegation comes up, it's borderline guilty till proven innocent, because there's been so many people that have taken advantage of that power structure, right? So these people did that to him, got him kicked out of college, got him run out of his town, because even though the police proved it was fake, people wanted him dead. Like, his family was getting threats, dude. They were not safe. They had to move. They had to leave the entire area and move across the state because of this woman. And this was during Me Too. And it's like, so people will tell me, oh, there were no false allegations. It's like, I literally, even just anecdotally, knew someone whose life was almost ruined. They were considering ending their life. They were genuinely, and I'm not trying to, like, share their, you know, trauma here. That's why I'm not going to say anything about who they were. But it's something that they were okay with people knowing. So just to clear that up.
Yeah.
But, like, they couldn't really talk about it too much legally, because from their point of view, they weren't talking about some random unidentifiable person during a Madden Let's Play. It was, this is my life. If I start saying this, that person could say I'm defaming them.
Right.
So they couldn't even talk about what happened.
Because it becomes illegal.
So they were lonely. Yeah. They were thinking about leaving the planet. They were desperate. They lost, like, their chance at a career almost. They got kicked out of college. Like, their previous friends abandoned them because they believed the woman. And this was during Believe All Women. And that's why it's so dangerous, dude. Like, you can't believe all of anything. Like, you just can't. You have to, like, if you know someone personally and they make a claim like, this person touched me or whatever, absolutely give them the benefit of the doubt. I totally understand. It's like if your wife says, I went to work and this guy groped me. You're not going to be like, where's the proof?
Right.
It's like, I get it. But, like, you just can't believe people you don't know that well without finding out more. And it sucks that you can't. I wish you could. But people are liars, man. Like, people manipulate situations to benefit from them, so many of them. And so it's such a weird thing when you have these groups where it's like, believe all of this. And I think that was kind of a thing that came out of that era, you know, that you were talking about, where it's just unfortunate, because I think a lot of people aren't willing to accept that. They're not willing to accept that there was a lot of lies.
Right.
Like, to them, it's like, if you admit there was one lie, then you have to throw out everybody. And I don't think you have to do that.
No, but you're right. Then it's like the integrity of the entire thing runs down into shambles at that point. And that stuff too, it really comes down to, I think it's a lot easier to just like, oh no, that happened, than if a claim is made. It's like a lot easier to just believe it and say, oh, that guy's just like a piece of garbage, instead of like asking a question. You know, because that's like, there's stuff with my job where I'll get like a complaint.
By the way, do you want to do one more, like, for 5 minutes?
That's perfect. Yeah. I'll get like a complaint or something, or someone will say like, hey, this happened. And it cannot be, yeah, I have to like just believe you and then discipline this person. It's got to be like, I've got to ask what happened from their perspective too.
You're okay with people hearing that, right?
Yeah,
because you're not identifying your job.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like part of that is,
well, because you're in like a management type area.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like there's people under you, people above you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's hard, because it's like, you can't be like, nah, F you, get back to work. But you also can't be like, oh, it happened, fire the guy.
Right.
Or girl or whatever.
You've got to, it basically, you have to start an investigation. And I think the problem is that there was such a volume of those things that were coming in at that time, where it's like, we don't have time to investigate all this. You're either guilty or you're not, and it looks how it looks at that point. We don't have time to look at all these things. And it's like, well, sure, but they're so serious, they do need to be looked at, all of them, and they all need to be either proven or proven to be not true. And like,
there was a situation like this that was really frustrating. It was around a voice actor who I'm sure someone in the comments can identify. I'm not going to get too far into it, but who was pretty popular in anime and stuff. And from what I've seen, there was no proof ever. What do you need, Jill? Tissue? Oh, there was no proof either way that I saw that was like conclusive of like this person did this or didn't. It was about, I believe, sexual harassment. But later on, he sued the people who said it, and also the police said, or the court said, well, there's not enough proof to prove defamation either. So it's like Johnny Depp, you know, where it was like, she couldn't prove that he was in the wrong, but he couldn't win the defamation lawsuit in the UK, but then he won in the US, you know, in that case.
Yeah.
So it was like a really messy thing. And this guy, in a lot of ways, had gotten kicked out of the voice acting industry. But, like, to my understanding, there wasn't solid proof either way. It was more just like, well, it's not looking good for you, so get out. And I feel like you got to be really careful with that kind of stuff. And I don't know, man. To me, that's where it's, like, dangerous. And my thing is, like, what's to stop me from setting up someone I don't like? Like, if I get a girl, right, and I'm like, hey, you should go on a date with this guy and then say this happened. I'll give you 10 grand.
Yeah.
What's to stop me from doing that? They're not going to do a thorough enough investigation to find that.
Well, and especially with what AI is doing now, too, with the deepfakes.
What is it, ChatGPT?
Yes.
All this stuff.
It's getting to a point where it's getting real difficult to tell. Like, it's getting to...
They already couldn't tell from real life. So they could just make a claim and they would either believe it or not. And by the way... Also awful that for like how many years they just didn't care. You know, it's like, I'm not saying that's good.
Right.
Like what, from like literally up until like the 1990s? I mean, even through that, I would argue, but that was probably the first time they were starting to take any of it seriously.
For sure.
It's like up to that point, like in Western society, if a woman got uh-oh'd, for the most part, unless there was solid proof, witnesses, stuff like that, nothing happened. But then it's like, that's awful too.
But it was kind of like, we got to make up ground. We got
to go the other way.
We got to fix
the pendulum thing, dude.
Right, and it was such a far swing.
It's just bad. You can't deal with stuff with a pendulum. You can't go from extreme to extreme. It never works.
Got to be like, okay, we were doing this wrong, but how do we do it right? Not how do we completely correct and make up for what we were doing wrong? It's like you have to like logically think about these things, because innocent people then end up getting affected, and you went too far, and then that's what happened.
And those are people who had nothing to do with the abuse of it in the first place.
Right.
So it's like you're not even it's not like you're going too far to punish the people who were responsible, who got away with it in the past. You're going too far, and you're just catching people in the crossfire who had nothing to do with it in the past when it was taken advantage of.
Yes.
And that's my problem with it. That's the same thing with reparations. You're asking people to pay money who had nothing to do with what happened.
Right.
You know, it's like all of these things, it's like, why are you...
It's like, listen, I'm not pro-slavery, you know?
But I also don't have disposable income to give to you because my great-great-grandfather said the N-word or something crazy, like 200 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy to me. It's just, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these things are dealt with so poorly. Well, and to round it out back real quick, that's the sports stuff, dude. The people, like, they were putting all this stuff in sports, like gay rights, racism, all this stuff, and it's actually good to talk about things, but they were doing such an overboard like thing with all of it that ratings tanked because people were like, I'm dealing with all this in real life. I just can't. And this is something you mentioned a part or two ago, like people falling off of sports appreciation. It's like, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because like, life is already so serious.
I'm not having fun anymore watching this,
no.
You know, like it used to be like you just root for a team and you root for the guys because of what they do in the field, then it becomes like I don't really agree with this guy's politics. I don't think I want to. And like, I'm not, like you said, I'm not saying politics cannot enter into the sports world ever, but like it can't be a foundational piece of
You got to be careful with it.
You do. You
got to think.
Because you will really turn a lot of people off doing that. And that's what happened, especially with the NBA. That's what happened with that. By the way, we won 2. We got 2 moments done today, dude.
Oh, did we not get this one?
We got this one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great.
So we couldn't get that one that was impossible, but that's
okay.
We got, which was huge.
Well, hey, so people should tell us, do you like the Madden moments or not? We might come back to it in the future. I think for now we're going to take a break.
I think so,
and do like a different game.
Yeah.
Well, so real quick question here. What's one sport we haven't done at all? We did basketball, we did football. So do you want to do hockey next?
I think did we do NHL? Didn't we do NHL?
Oh, we did do NHL, but we only did like 4 parts. So, I mean, we could either pick a hockey game or we could pick a soccer game.
Baseball.
Baseball.
We could do the show, yeah.
We could. Maybe we pick out a classic baseball game because I got quite a few of them.
There's some great
ones.
ones.
And we do some parts of a baseball game and then we drop those kind of after your kid's born.
If we could find, that's true.
Because you're gonna be busy, dude.
And it's coming quick, yeah, which I'm really excited about. But there is so there was MLB Slugfest, and I think you would love this game. Really quick side note, because in this game, if your pitcher was getting really good, or like you beamed I'm sorry, if there was like momentum going on. So if you beamed a batter so many times, you would throw it, and the guy would catch the bean with his bare hand. Like he would catch the baseball and throw it back at the pitcher.
Really?
Or like there was a time where you run around and you're running around third base and you can punch the fielders. So I'm running third base, I'm clearly gonna be out, and I throw an uppercut, launch the guy into the stadium, and then I get a home run. You know? So it's
Wait, what system was this on?
This was on PlayStation.
Which PlayStation?
I think it was PS2.
Okay.
MLB Slugfest, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. That one or NFL Blitz, where NFL Blitz is like you are literally abusing people on the field, and it's like it's insane. So
there's like a whole series of
yes,
MLB Slugfest.
I think that was the game. It was MLB Slugfest or MLB. I gotta remember what the title of it was, but it was a game where you literally punch people and like caught.
So you want a crazy one?
Oh yeah, why not?
I think at some point we should also do NBA Jam. Did you
agree.
used to play that?
It's a great game. Yeah, I would totally play
crazy.
that. Yes.
But yeah, we'll probably drop some of those. Like it'll probably be a little break. And then we'll drop some of those in a month or two. We'll see.
Sure.
And then we'll kind of see where you're at for busyness, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
People missed you, dude. People said they wanted you back on these channels. So.
That's awesome. I miss the people. I miss them. I know it's been way too.
But you don't read their comments.
I do too. I read some.
Oh, you do read them. You just don't watch the video.
No, I saw the one where everyone was saying congratulations, which was I really really appreciate.
Okay, I was going to tell you about that. I didn't know if you saw that or not.
Everyone was so nice, so I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. One was like, "Give me the kid."
Which is a bold take, but I...
And you were like, I respect that. Here you go.
I'm grateful nonetheless. And here you are.
Don't want this thing. Yeah, dude, it's going to be crazy. It's like the next time... I mean, I guess the one we record after this, you won't be. But whatever we record after that, you'll be a dad, dude.
I know.
That's weird.
I know.
You going to hit your kid? MLB Slugfest?
For sure.
Yeah. Is that why you want to play? Get a little power up. Dude, you know what? I will say this. One other series we have to hit at some point. Not that we can only play sports, but I know you love them.
Yeah.
One other series we have to hit is Backyard. Remember, like, Backyard baseball, football,
You know what's awesome is they just released it on PC, too. So my brother got one. I think it was Backyard Baseball. And it is... we played that game for hours and hours and hours when we were kids. So I would
Was it middle brother or youngest brother?
Middle brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We played, I mean, it was on our PC, so we'd play it nonstop on there. And they've got hockey, basketball, football. They've got it all. And so it's...
I'll run it by you. If I can't find or get like Slugfest or the other one working, we can do that probably, because I think I have one or two of the Backyards. Yeah, they did just release one. But yeah, those are super fun. I used to play Backyard Soccer.
That was a good one too, yeah.
Dude, you know who was the best, which is hilarious? The kid in the wheelchair.
He always was really good.
He was amazing.
It was him and Pablo that were the best.
Dude, that was DEI before DEI.
It was,
That wheelchair kid was the best. I genuinely feel like he was just like Black Xavier.
He was cracked.
Wait, was he Black or was he like Latino?
I think he was Latino, yeah.
Whatever. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Is what I'd say if I wanted to build a wall. But no, dude, like they were always the best. They had the best stats. Like the wheelchair kid in every game. It was like he was Latino Professor Xavier, dude.
Yes.
Genuinely, he had that ball moving with his mind.
He was incredible, and he was so fast too because the wheels. I mean, he really greased those things up and was flying around on there. I was very impressed.
You know, little just like super quick side note before you go. I actually read something where someone was saying I can't remember like the exact words, but it was something like, you know, I was in a wheelchair and I thought I couldn't play sports, and seeing that kid like actually made me happy. And then they played sports in like a league like that. And it's like, you know...
That's super cool.
Yeah, that's like an actual example of like what they try to do now with stuff where they're like, what if we make our main character like a Black lesbian who like started out as a squirrel and like now they are, 30-year-old who identifies as a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what they're trying to do now, and it's like a game back in the PS1 era on PC captured that better.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
In a more, like, just...
Natural way?
I was going to say, yeah, more of like a more natural way, where it's something where it's like... It's still like a small fraction of society, but it still is obviously like people are affected by it.
Yeah, it meant something to people.
And it's something that they can't, is totally out of their control, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Like, that thing happens. So I don't know. I think it's super cool that happens.
I miss stuff like that, man.
And it's
like,
just good, wholesome.
Yeah, it just felt like a happy, like, little thing, and nobody cared that it was in the game. People were cool with it, and it was just fun.
And it was just fun. Like, it was simple. It was easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, we'll see what we hit next, but yeah, wish T good luck on his fatherhood. He's already being called daddy at home, so now he'll be called daddy by another woman or man in his life, but it'll be a child, which for the first time being called daddy by a child will not land you on a registry in your life. Does
Which
that
is
feel
very
good?
exciting, yeah. No,
You don't have to walk out and knock on extra doors this time. It's like a natural way to get the nickname, dude.
Thank you, dude. That's a good looking out.